everybody. Welcome to the Wellness Connection. I am Dr. Olivia Joseph, and this is
Dr. Whitney.
So many of you know our faces. For those of you who don't, I've been in charge of the functional medicine department here and the Chinese medicine department for 13 years. And Dr. Whitney's focus for the last 13 years has been
Pediatrics and pregnancy.
So we're here to talk to you as moms with children, trying to stay sane and have healthy children, because there's nothing worse than when your kids are sick. And it seems like when they go back to school, they tend to get sick more because they're exposed to so much and they bring a lot of that home. We also know how hard it is sometimes to manage healthy nutrition in your household, because sometimes back to school time is a busy, crazy time. So we're here to share some tips with you, and Dr. Whitney has created some beautiful documents that we're gonna have loaded in the documents section of our page at the Wellness Connection. So first, I want to start with you with some of the basic nutrition as far as supplements go that we give our children, and I want to explain why. So first is this chewable Phyto Multi. So this is a plant-based, organic, non-synthetic multivitamin. It's nice that it's chewable. It does contain methylfolate and methylcobalamin for those people worried about gene mutations, for those people worried about MTHFR, even autism, attention, focus. There's a ton of organic antioxidants in this multivitamin. So for those of you who have trouble getting your kids to eat fruits and vegetables, this is a great foundation. Now, have you given this one to your kids?
Yes, I have.
Do they like the taste?
They do like the taste, yes.
My kids call this the Willy Wonka multivitamin, meaning it starts out tasting really good, but it changes flavors. And at some point, it kind of tastes a little bit like broccoli. So my kids do this one on and off. I'm not going to lie. There are times they'll take it. There are times they won't. But I usually cover up a lot of nutrition in a smoothie, which we'll talk about because we both do. Second thing on the list is fish oil. Do your kids take this one?
Yes.
Do they swallow it or chew it?
My 3-year-old takes this one. She says, "Mommy, give me my fishy oils."
Because it's tutti frutti flavored,
Yes.
naturally flavored, of course. It's mercury distilled. It's stable. It's non-rancid. It smells good. It tastes good. And I don't know about your kids. My kids chew this. They don't swallow it.
Yes.
Yes, they chew it. So you can chew it and swallow it, or chew it and spit out the capsule. You can also swallow it whole, because this Ortho Mega Pearls is teeny tiny. I and Dr. Whitney both give our kids probiotics. These are dairy-free probiotics. They're grape chewable, 5 billion bacteria per serving. And the final thing you don't want to forget for boosting immune health is vitamin D. It's not a coincidence that flu season starts when the sun goes away. So we need to supplement with vitamin D. This is tasteless. This is liquid. Children need vitamin D just like adults do. They just need a lower and smaller amount. So fish oil contains DHA, which helps with brain health, attention, focus. Fish oil reduces inflammation in the body naturally as well. This is a must for attention and focus. This is a must because nutritional deficiencies are a very real problem even in children. Probiotics support gut health, right? And our immune system lives in our gut. So one thing I want to give Dr. Whitney a pat on the back for is she's officially certified by the Institute of Functional Medicine. So she's no longer just doing pediatric pre and postnatal chiropractic care. She's also joining the functional medicine team, currently doing all of our weight loss consults. She's also helping us interpret labs, focus on gut health, immune health, detoxification. So she's one of the doctors certified through the Institute of Functional Medicine, which is hands down one of the most prestigious functional medicine institutions that there are. So this is a big one that I see you give your kids a lot, and it's Natronex. And what do you use this for?
For immune system boosting and coughs.
Cough
This
syrup is probably the most effective natural cough syrup I've ever seen in my life. And the active ingredient is elderberry, but it also contains thyme, echinacea, sage, and anise. And this one's pretty tasty, but it's really effective if your children are coughing, and it's completely natural. Now, to boost the immune system, we also have Immumax. This one actually tastes better. This is one you can get kids to take all the time to boost their immune system. And again, it's vitamin C, echinacea, rose hips, propolis, and all sorts of natural flavoring and natural sweeteners. So these are going to be your more acute immune boosters. The other things I showed you are going to be your foundational nutrition, but I cannot forget DHIST because we live in St. Louis, which is the allergy capital of the world. And today in particular, I cannot tell you how many patients I've seen complaining of allergies.
Itchy eyes.
Like today was a big day for it. Now as kids are going back to school, DHIST is a natural chewable antihistamine. This is a very popular supplement that a lot of people give their children. I give my children this. If my son wakes up and his nose is stuffy or his voice is hoarse, he's actually asking for this. So anything you want to add to that?
The one thing I tell parents over and over who are for their chiropractic visits, what can I do to boost my immune system for my kids, is I recommend these supplements, but especially the Immune Nex and Nature Nex every 4 hours. So take the appropriate dose on the box every 4 hours and don't skip it, because their body needs that extra boost at a time they're fighting something, especially when it's acute.
When it is acute. And sometimes we have things we're not going to show you today because they're not really back to school, but we have some acute things we use as well. Otidolo, which is for ear health. We use Lympho-Nest for swollen lymph nodes and sore throat. So we use things, colloidal silver, in more acute situations. But today's about back to school, going back. My 15-year-old, he can use this. Yes, he absolutely can. Our children are age 3 to age 12. We have 7 children among the 2 of us, and we give these to our children. These are made specifically for children. These are not adult supplements that we're tapering down for kids. These are made specifically for kids. So Dr. Whitney, I'm going to have you show the shake you use to make your family smoothies.
Yes, so we use Ultra Meal Advanced Protein. It is chocolate and it is yummy. So the good news is you can hide so many things and add so many things. Kale, blueberries, you can add other berries like strawberries. You know, sometimes they'll throw in a half a frozen banana, buy a dozen bananas, break them up, freeze them for the week. Sometimes they'll add a few nuts just to add a boost of extra fiber and fat. So between nuts, kale, berries, the protein itself, the protein powder, and say an unsweetened almond or coconut milk, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And sometimes my son gets home from sports late at night, so we will add a little PB2. So if there's not a peanut butter allergy, we'll make a chocolate PB2 shake.
Which you could add almond butter or something else to get at that fat. So there's a lot of great ways to sneak fat and fruits and vegetables in there. That one's very high in protein, so if you drink a small amount, you're going to get enough protein, especially for a child. The beautiful thing about that one is it tastes great. It's high in protein, so kids love it. It's plant-based. We do not use any proteins that are whey, soy-based, even egg-based. We don't use anything with artificial coloring or sweeteners. These are all very low glycemic. And the most important thing you can have your children eat at breakfast is
protein.
That
goes out of my mouth
all the time. So teach your kids what are protein-rich foods. So when they're constantly grabbing, kids are carboholics because they're high energy, because it makes them feel full, or at least they think it does. But what it's really doing is it's affecting their blood sugar, which makes it harder for them to focus. Protein is so important at breakfast. Do not let your kids eat the house without some source of protein for breakfast. Share your favorite source of protein in the comments. Fat is also very important for brain health. Now, I give my kids Ultra GI Replenish because my kids have inherited some tummy issues from their mom or mom and dad. So my daughter loves Ultra GI Replenish. I do the vanilla flavor. It also comes in chocolate. This has some prebiotics in it, probiotics, and L-glutamine, which is particularly good for healing leaky gut. It's also plant-based. So we're trying to keep the gut healthy because that's where the immune system lives. Now, I realize there's some kids out there that have concerns with anxiety and sleep and stress. And for those, I really like to recommend some magnesium. MetaRelax is a powdered magnesium that also has taurine, methyl B12 or methylcobalamin, and a little bit of B6. This is one I like to give just half a pack of maybe after school if they come home and feel anxious, or around dinner time if they have trouble falling or staying asleep. I do give my children magnesium. I recommend everybody start magnesium at puberty and above. But Sometimes that's an as-needed basis. And I know many people out there have used natural calm magnesium. The only downside to that is in some people it causes loose stools. This will not, because it contains magnesium glycinate, which is bioavailable. Another thing we'll sometimes add are chewable theanine. Theanine promotes calmness. It also helps with attention and focus. This is nice for kids that just can't calm down, or sometimes this helps kids actually stay asleep, where magnesium kind of helps you calm down and fall asleep. These are not things you need on a daily basis, but these are things worth considering. So some foods that you would remove from the diet is, what are the most basic foods to remove artificially?
Artificial colorings and sweeteners.
Absolutely. High fructose corn syrup, all of your coloring. It inhibits brain function. And sometimes you have to dig deeper into food sensitivities. How do we test for food sensitivities?
We do that through a IgE test. We do that through a blood test.
It's a simple blood test. We test 95 foods at once. Then that helps you to determine whether or not there are certain things you need to eliminate from your child's diet, such as gluten or dairy. But sometimes it's not gluten or dairy. Sometimes it's gluten and dairy, or sometimes it's something completely different. Our philosophy is, why guess when you can test? It's a test that's done one time, test 95 foods, and then you can move on with your life, and you know what you should and shouldn't feed your kids. So we want to help you with some recipes, resources, and books. So I'm going to share this first one with you, which is my cookbook, Cooking with Dr. Olivia. The entire cookbook is family-friendly, kid-friendly. Everything here is gluten and dairy-free. There are also egg-free recipe variations. Now, one thing I know a lot of you guys can't have at school is nuts. So some alternatives to nuts are
seeds.
Absolutely.
Sunflower seeds.
Even sun butter, if you want to send your kid to school with like fruit to dip in sun butter, and they make these individual packets. There are a lot of great meal replacement bars out there that are gluten, dairy free, and contain protein. My kids love Cliff and Luna bars. It does have a soy protein, so if you're against soy, don't do that. You could do a Lara bar, which is just dates and nuts, but you have nuts there, right? What are some bars that your family likes?
So they do love the Kind bars. Huge fan of those.
They're delicious. They do have nuts, so if you're a nut-free school, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it depends. I've had some times where we have to be completely nut-free, other times when we are just peanut-free. So it all depends on your class, that year, that season. So Kind bars really are our favorite. We carry another bar called the Cocoa Immune bar that my kids also love.
The benefit of the Cocoa Immune Bar, if you do your homework, it's made by Designs for Health. It's very low sugar. It's not high in protein, but it's very high in fat, and it's made with coconut oil. It tastes like an Almond Joy. The benefit of the fat is your brain uses fat for attention, for focus, for energy. It tastes awesome. And some of the ingredients, such as coconut oil, protect your immune system. So it's a good immune booster. If you guys check it out, Designs for Health. Now, one last book I want to share with you is, this is a book, Healing the New Childhood Epidemics. This is an old book. It's about autism, ADHD, asthma, and allergies. It's about the 4A disorders. I've been preaching from this book, teaching from this book for 12, 13 years. I've been doing food allergy testing, neurotransmitter testing, stool analysis, organic acid testing, and using these supplements for 14 years. Now, I don't work with kids. I work with the parents. Dr. Whitney is patient enough to work with all ages. I'm working with the parents. And one thing that I find is a great cookbook, Dr. Whitney has this one at home too, is Practical Paleo. I love this one. I had a patient this morning say it's overwhelming because there's so many recipes. I'm like, you just got hundreds of family-friendly recipes in one book. I love this cookbook. I know your family does. So our families like a lot of the recipes from it. So any questions that you post, myself or probably Dr. Whitney will be personally answering. So post your questions in the comments. Share this video with other moms. We're in the trenches with you. We're trying to feed our families, keep them healthy. We want you to know what we're doing to keep our families healthy. I cannot stress that enough. Now, I did see somebody make one comment, my stomach swells like I'm 9 months pregnant. Do a food allergy test. Do a food allergy test. Identify which foods need to be eliminated from your diet. Maybe you need enzymes. Maybe you have leaky gut. Maybe you need probiotics. But why guess when you can test? Sometimes when you're swelling that much in your gut, there's a bacterial or yeast overgrowth within the gut, and that may require more advanced testing like a stool analysis. But I don't typically jump to a stool analysis unless I've done food sensitivity testing Ultra GI Replenish, maybe some enzymes and probiotics. That's definitely where I would start. So thank you for being with us.
you.
Share this with other moms. We're all trying to keep our kids healthy and keep our own sanity. Thank you.
Thank you.